So today we'll be solving some problems using similar triangles. Remember, similar triangles are triangles that have the same angles and they are the same shape, but the one is going to be bigger or smaller than the other, and the sides are in proportion. So in this case, we're trying to find E and F in question 1. So we could redraw very badly the two triangles and separate them. So the larger triangle, 10.5, smaller triangle, E. The larger triangle would be the 6 plus the 3, which is 9, and the smaller triangle is the 6. And then the larger triangle over here would be F plus 8, whereas the smaller one is 8. Okay, so we've got everything set up, ready to go. So all we have to do, let's move over this way a little bit. We have the unknown at the top, so E over the corresponding side of 10.5 equals, we have the 6 and the 9. We can't use the other two sides because we don't know what F is. So 6 over 9. Make sure you do small over big and small over big. And then after that, we just multiply across 10.5 multiplied by the 6 divided by the 9. And grab your calculator. That gives us 7 centimeters. All right, so to find F, continue with the same idea. So F plus 8 divided by the corresponding side of 8 equals 9 over 6. So multiplying across, we get F plus 8 equals 9 times the 8 divided by 6, which is 72 divided by 6 is 12. So we are still left with F plus 8 equals the 12. And then just subtract the 8 on both sides. So F equals 4. And there we go. That's the first one done. Okay, so next question is this one called G. And we've drawn the two triangles there, the smaller one on the left, bigger one on the right. As you can see, x plus 3.6 is the length of that side there. So once again, put the unknown at the top. So we have x plus 3.6 over 3.6 is equal to 5 over 4. Right, so multiply both sides by the 3.6. So x plus 3.6 divided by 4. Grab your calculator. So we have x plus 3.6 equals. So x plus 3.6 equals 4.5. Subtract 3.6 on both sides. So x equals 0.9 meters. Now, I want to show you we could actually solve this a different way using the fact that since these are similar triangles, 3.6 over 4 should be in the same ratio as x plus 3.6 over 5. So in that case, you would then multiply by 5 and then subtract 3.6, and we end up getting the same answer. So you have those two options. You can either do the corresponding sides in the two different triangles, as we did before, over each other, or you can actually do what we're doing in this case, 3.6 over 4 equals x plus 3.6 over 5. Both ways work because the sides are in proportion. So all those fractions are equivalent. Right, so moving over to question H. This is a typical kind of question we'll get with similar triangles where we have pairs of alternate angles. You can see the Z shapes would be there to justify that those are equal. And then of course we have our vertically opposite angles, which tells us that all angles are equal, which means the triangles must be similar. So once again, if we draw the two triangles next to each other, let's just make sure we label in a way that makes our lives a lot easier when solving these problems. So if we're looking at the smaller triangle, that's the 6 and the 4. Looking at the bigger triangle, you can picture we've actually swiveled this triangle around. Okay, so the x matches up with the 6, and the 9 goes on top of the 4. Right, so there's our triangle, and we know these triangles are similar because all the angles are equal. So easy peasy, we just say x over 6 equals 9 over 4. Or we could have said x over 9 equals 6 over 4. Okay, you always have those two options. So in this case, x equals 6 times 9 divided by 4, and that gives you 13.5 centimeters. The final question. So once again, I have drawn the two triangles separately. So for the larger triangle, we could say this side here is y plus 2.4, and the other side is 9 plus 2.7, which we can add to get 11.7. And then in the smaller triangle, we have the 9 and we have the y. They won't necessarily say to you in the question that these are similar triangles, just like in question H, but we know they are similar because we have a situation where those angles are equal because of your F shape, your corresponding angles. Likewise, those are equal. And then the top angle is common. Common angle is obviously the same in both triangles. So that would be the one up here in our little diagrams. Okay, so this one is slightly different in the sense that we have y over y plus 2.4 equals 9 over 11.7. Now we have two y's, one at the top and one as part of the y plus 2.4 at the bottom. So you should remember that in a situation like this, cross multiplying gets rid of all the fractions. So let's do that first. So we get 11.7y equals 9y plus 21.6. So that's the 2.4 times 9. Okay, so we just subtract 9y on both sides. So you end up with 2.7y equals 21.6. And finally divide by 2.7. So y equals 8, and it's 8 centimeters.